Hey guys, it's Mitchell, your favorite millennial, and today I am talking about the laptop I've been using for the last month and a half, the Xiaomi MiBook Air 2. Before we jump into that, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the little notifications icon by that subscribe button. It will give you an alert when I post new videos on the channel. So if any of you guys have been watching my channel closely, you will have noticed that I have had to slow down considerably in the amount of content that I can produce. And that is because my Dell XPS 15 recently fried its video card after an update that was pushed out from Dell. Now the device is currently waiting to be shipped to me in Vietnam. I'm actually gonna have to go to Bangkok to pick it up. I'm gonna do a separate video about that and I'll link it down below. In the meantime, I bought a Xiaomi MiBook Air 2 and it has been a surprisingly good device at $800. Real quick, we are going to jump into the overall spec of the device, as there is a couple of optional specifications that you can have for this laptop. First, this has a Samsung PCIe M.2 hard drive. It's a 256 gig drive. It has very respectable read and write speed. It has a Intel Core i5-6200U CPU, DDR4 RAM. It's got 8 gigs of that, and it's also user upgradable as it's not soldered on RAM. It has Bluetooth 4.1. It has an NVIDIA GT940MX video card with 1 gigabyte of DDR5 video RAM. It has dual front-facing speakers by AKG, and we have 2 USB 3.0 ports, 1 HDMI port, 1 USB-C port for charging and optional connectivity, and a headphone jack. Now we're going to talk about the design. We have a brushed aluminum body that is user upgradable as the bottom panel is removable. We have a 1080p IPS display that from the factory comes calibrated in a very flat color profile, almost a Rec 709-ish color profile. I can't complain with how the display renders colors and whatnot. It's been very easy to do color correction on the display itself. We have a 1 megapixel front-facing webcam. We have a chiclet style backlit keyboard with a decent amount of travel for how small the device is. Key travel is a little bit shorter than my Dell XPS 15, but for a laptop that is this thin and light, I really cannot complain. We have some phenomenal bottom and front mounted AKG speakers that are significantly better than the speakers on my Dell XPS 15. Popped up on me by surprise. See, I never took you for the popping type. Damn, it's 4 a.m. And I would also say that the trackpad on the device is much better than the trackpad on my Dell. On the bottom of the device, we have venting as well as on the back of it. And the fans really don't turn on until I'm using any of my Adobe products. Now to talk about the actual experience of using this device. Now coming from a high-end laptop like the Dell XPS 15, I knew I was going to be suffering a major hit in performance when coming to a device such as this, especially for video editing. For normal everyday tasks, this device absolutely flies. I'm even able to edit photos at a decent pace in Adobe Lightroom, but as we all know, Adobe Lightroom is a very slow, outdated program. When it comes to using Adobe Premiere, I have no issue with the actual drag and dropping of clips, but the render time to preview render stuff is extremely slow. For a 8-minute 1080p video, my Dell XPS 15 would take me anywhere between 8 to 12 minutes to render it, depending upon the effects I was using in Premiere. And on this computer, we are looking at anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to render the same video clip. This is largely because of the downgrade from a Core i7 to a Core i5, as well as the fact that the video card on my Dell XPS 15 is significantly stronger. Now, while I doubt that anyone would be picking up this device for video editing. I would definitely suggest this for any photographers that are looking to travel with a slim and light laptop on a budget. In regards to battery life, when not working or using any of the Adobe products, this device has a phenomenal battery life. I'm getting anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of screen on time with heavy use. If I'm just doing 1080p video playback, it's even a little bit longer than that. And I really am surprised at how this device performs at the price point. Another aspect of this device that really blew me away was its build quality and how solidly it was constructed. There's very little flex in the screen, and there's absolutely no creaking whatsoever with the chassis of the device. Honestly, I wish I could have the spec of my Dell XPS 15 in this body in a 15-inch screen size. To me, that would be an excellent compromise for a laptop. In my opinion, it's really surprising to see products with this level of build quality coming out of Xiaomi, and I can't wait for them to catch on in the US because they are really producing devices that have impeccable build quality, great design, and a really clean aesthetic as well. At the $800 mark, I would definitely recommend this device to anyone looking at a MacBook or a similarly equipped Ultrabook, as the dedicated video card really makes a difference when talking about any type of editing or any type of productivity. If I had to give the device any criticism, I would have liked to have seen another USB-C port on the other side for more optional connectivity, and that's really about it. The included HDMI port is fantastic when traveling, as you can hook it up to a TV with just an HDMI cable without any additional dongles. The fact that it's got the two USB 3.0 ports is great. One of the things that is a great design feature of this device is it actually has a second PCIe slot for a second internal hard drive if you want to go ahead and upgrade the hard drive capacity of this device. If you have any questions regarding the Xiaomi MiBook Air 2, go ahead and drop them in the links down below. If you've ever used a Xiaomi product, I'd love to hear how you feel about their design and build quality, as I am definitely a fan. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos relating to tech, travel, and the tools that I use to create video.